your main event. Introducing the hosts of Wrestling with Freddie, Jeff Dye, and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of Wrestling with Freddie, now Wrestling with Friends, and here is your wrestling news of the week. WrestleMania 39 at SoFi has become the highest grossing show for WWE ever at $18 million. Secondly, WWE will continue to do other shows overseas, this time in London's very own O2 Arena, by having WWE's Money in the Bank there. And finally, and clearly, the largest news of the day, of the week, of the month, of the decade. Vincent Kennedy McMahon has come back to WWE as majority owner to peruse a possible sale of the business, according to the Wall Street Journal. This has been your Wrestling News Update. Good evening and good night.
There it is. Good evening and good night. You hit it perfect.
I got it right just for you because it's a new year.
It's a new year, new Freddie.
And my resolution is get it right.
I love it. I love it. Hey, it's good to see you, buddy. I hope everyone had a good New Year's Eve and New Year's Day and Christmas.
We did. We went, we could talk a little New Year's before we get into men slamming men and women slamming women and intergender matches that I don't like. I went to Hawaii for the holidays, land of the Rock.
That's right.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
You got to feel like what it's like to be in the Bloodline by zip lining.
That's right. That's right. I stayed with a Samoan family. They took me in, and I got some sick tattoos the old way,
nice,
where they hammer a little like needle into my arm. They did my whole arm, wrist to shoulder. We ate poi. I don't know if you've ever had poi. It's pretty good, but once you have it more than one way, you pretty much had it. We had it a lot.
Did you get the Samoan tattoo? Does it say, "I'm in the Bloodline"? Respect to Sami Zayn. What does your tattoo say?
They wrote it in Samoan, so hopefully they told me the truth. But it reads "Young Warrior."
Now we're
so they thought I was young. They thought I was young.
Well, compared to the Earth, you're young. Yeah,
I didn't.
You know,
compared to King Kamehameha, I am.
Compared to the volcanoes of our Earth, you know, we're all pretty.
No, young. I didn't do any of that. We stayed in a super nice hotel. Spoiled ourselves rotten. Ate like royalty. We have 2 friends that live out there already, and so we went to visit them as well, had Christmas with them. Nice. And New Year's with them, so it was great. How was your holiday, sir?
Holidays weren't that great because Southwest canceled the flights, so I didn't get to go anywhere. Stuck at home by myself. But New Year's was great because I got to go to Cleveland.
I feel so bad. I don't mean to laugh.
It was terrible. I sat at the airport in Burbank from like 10 a.m. to midnight just for them to cancel the flight, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go home and pout. So that happened. But New Year's was awesome. I had a bunch of shows in Cleveland, and we had really fun time in Cleveland. It was awesome.
Cleveland rocks, man.
Yeah, dude, it was fun.
Jeff, you made a prediction.
Yeah.
In like our 2nd or 3rd episode,
and everyone thought I was joking.
And everyone thought you were joking, and it was the biggest news in wrestling. Not your opinion, but the news itself, which was Vince McMahon was forced out. And Jeff, tell the people what you said.
I said the 100% that he's coming back. There's just no chance that he can stay not in wrestling. And not only did it happen, it's happened pretty fast. He did not take that much time off. And I said that he was going to come back in the Royal Rumble, I'm still hoping for that.
The Royal Rumble.
No chance. And he just starts running out. He wins if he's like the 30th person. It'll be amazing. Number
30 comes out, hits the ring, blows out both his quads again. And still goes over. Yeah, you called this. I honestly thought he might just stay away and say, let me just live the rest of my life. But other people have said it before. He's going to die in Gorilla, and the show's going to go on. And that may be what happens. Some people are a little afraid he's going to come back to creative. Other people are saying that's not going to happen. He's just there for the sale. What do you think, broski?
I don't. You know Vince McMahon personally. Do you think he's capable of not getting his little fingers on the creative? I can't see a world where he doesn't.
Neither can I.
Yeah, there's just zero chance that and also how
there's
pissed
no
off,
chance.
How pissed off must everyone be that he's back? Like in the locker room and all that. Like it's all back.
I'm sure he has his crew that they can take care of themselves and he trusts them with their own creative for the most part. So I'm sure there's a small handful of people that are, welcoming him back with open arms. But I would say the vast majority of talent there's probably freaked out at worst and nervous at best, right? Because if he does come back to creative, that means storylines are going to die that day. And pretty much everyone, I think, who's been rehired since they were released under Hunter's current reign right now as the boss, I think those people are probably going through it the most. I'm sure they're going through a ton of emotions. He hated me before, let me go. He's going to hate me now. He's going to let me, you know what I mean? People who had storylines are probably nervous they're going to go away. All of it
there's people
Bray
who came back
to
just
Killer
because
Kross.
of Triple H.
Yeah, they did. They
so
did.
Like if they're like, well, I came back because Triple H is in charge, and now it's been 2 months and or however long it's been.
I think it better have been a little bit longer. If it was only 2 months,
well, it feels like just 2 months. I mean, we were just talking about it. We were just going, can you believe Vince is gone? This is crazy. Like it's longer than 2 months, but it's humorous that's how short it's been.
Yeah, man. I don't know why I'm surprised, but I really am surprised. I won't be surprised if he goes back and starts running creative.
And we're not a rumor podcast. That's just not what we do here. We just tell our opinions and celebrate wrestling of all kind.
We're not good at it.
But there's a rumor that our producer has sent over via text. But Nick Khan allegedly has a deal with Vince McMahon to sell WWE.
I would say, that's pretty much the story the Wall Street Journal was insinuating. So I don't know if that stays in the world of rumors. I mean, they're somewhat reputable, I guess. Yeah. I don't know all their fake stories and real stories because I don't read it.
Well, when the article says alleged in the headline, I've got to say that fits in the rumor category.
I mean, I feel like he only comes back for one of two reasons: to either sell it or to take over and run it. And I don't think he can feasibly take over and run it again. So I think it has to be, he's coming in, he's going to sell the company, and wherever the pieces fall, but it's going to end with him.
Can Triple H afford to buy wrestling? What if he buys wrestling?
No way, man. It's going to sell for at least $2 billion. Okay. At least $2 billion.
I hope Elon Musk buys it and he makes all the wrestlers, electric. I don't know what Elon does really. I don't know. Maybe he'll make them all.
He's gonna make them.
I don't know. He'll make them digital. I don't know how this stuff works.
It'll be solar powered.
Yeah, it'll be NFT. I don't know smart stuff. Listen, if Elon Musk buys
my wrestlers are powered by the wind.
It'll be cool. It'll be a better version, I'm sure.
Let's talk some real wrestling instead of our fantasy promoter booking. So Monday Night Raw opened and the Bloodline came out like in Raw is War back in the day and just thrashed everything and took over. We're here, you bastards. There's nothing you can do about it. We run this, so suck it. And they're doing their, tough guy thing. And all hell's broken loose. Kevin Owens, good Kevin Owens, comes out and he's there to talk to everybody. But mainly Sammy, because that's who his problems with. And you can see that he cares about him. And Sammy and the Bloodline are like, F you, Kevin Owens. And he's like, well, F me, no F you. And then he's going to go and fight. And then Adam Pearce comes down and is like, nobody's effing anybody. And he's trying to keep it cool. And security comes in, but security's got nothing for Solo Sikoa. He just handles all of the security. And the rest of the Bloodline doesn't even have to do anything. By the way, you have to, all these arenas, you need to employ more credible security staffs, ones that formulate strategy. Let's all go in at the same time. I think if we go in one at a time, he's going to have a major advantage. Like you have to have one dude on the team that thinks like that if you're going to be a security company for one of these arenas, because these guys did not have that individual and they got taxed. And so Kevin Owens is like, well, security can't protect the people in this arena from the madness, then I'm going to protect them. So F you again. And it doesn't matter that Adam doesn't want anybody effing anybody. He goes in, he fights, he's getting beat down. Then all the wrestlers come out They're like, yeah, security can't do nothing. We're all coming out. Now, the wrestlers all came in the ring at the same time. They didn't do that one at a time Royal Rumble security entrance BS. They got in and they started whipping ass. Now the Bloodline's trying to run away and get away. Adam Pearce, who tried to throw them out of the arena earlier, now he doesn't want them out of it. He says, no, you're not going anywhere. You wanted to F everybody? Well, now everybody's going to F you. And I'm setting up a bunch of effing matches tonight. And you're going to F and wrestle. You're all getting F. That's right. And so that set up the show for Monday Night Raw. It was a chaotic segment, but they brought it in nice. And it felt okay to me. I thought I was going to hate it because when they did it with the Nexus back in the day, it sucked. And when they did it with the Shield, I guess it was cool with the Shield. I'm just crapping on it. But yeah, this I thought was pretty cool, and I dug the segment, man. How'd you feel about all that effing around?
Well, I will say the security thing, one thing, it must feel weird to be a real security guard at one of these stadiums. Because, you look at him going, hey, aren't you going to help? Like, it seems like there's a melee here. Like, there's some good. And then he's like, no. We're just real security. We just kind of watch you guys. So there's there must be a weird separation of fake security and real security trying to make sense of everything.
They're constantly eyeballing each other from across the arena.
This feels real. I don't know if it's fake or not.
I could be real. I could.
I could get in there. I do think that whenever they do these kind of takeover things, it's always confusing for my brain because it's I don't really see Raw and SmackDown as two separate shows. I just see them as WWE. To me, it's just this is the Monday show and this one. So when they're like, "We're coming for you, SmackDown," I'm like, this feels like Civil War or something. It feels strange, friendly fire is happening.
We used to say that in the production meeting all the time. Every young, I was young-ish then, but all the young writers would in the production meeting to Vince, in front of, they go, we don't look at it it's all wrestling.
Yeah, we don't get it.
I'd be like, yeah, I second that. And all the old guys would be like, it's Freebird would be like, it's not. Each one's a brand unto its own.
Yeah.
And you have to fight for your brand, whether
so
it's
silly.
red or blue. And I'm like, nobody does that except you.
Also, they're we shuffle up Raw and SmackDown so often. We shuffle up those wrestlers so often. They're
and they change the rules so often.
Yeah, they're attacking guys that they used to be tag partners with just a couple of years ago. Or they're now they're all of a sudden enemies for some reason.
Yeah, your team red, I'll punch you right in the face, you son of a bitch.
Well, they'll be they'll be we're coming to destroy this thing. And they're it's just like when WCW was invaded by WWE with the Wolf Pack and Hulk Hogan. It's totally different because this is the same stock, the same brand, the same whatever. But anyways,
it's like if Scott Hall invaded Kevin Nash.
Yeah, that's Kevin exactly Nash what it feels like.
Yeah, let's get wet. No, you invade together.
Did they have a fight we didn't know about? Because I'm confused why they're doing
where's
this.
the beef? These guys used to love each other.
But that being said, because they do this kind of thing so often, over the last 20 years, I do like it. It feels classic. It feels cool. The fact that they just open the show and there's already chaos happening is kind of cool. So I did like the opening. It was fun. And I also, am I crazy? But I've never seen, or I am not very familiar with Adam Pearce. How long has he been in that position?
He's been in the GM position for a while. He used to be a wrestler, but then like me, got older. And he's good on the mic, man. He had one little flub that he corrected.
I know, but how many times has he been on camera?
On camera, a bunch, dude, for over a year. A bunch?
Okay.
For over a year. He just doesn't make it about him.
They kept saying his name, and then when they cut to him, I go, "Oh, I know him." But when they were saying his name, I was like, "Who the hell is Adam Pearce?" I was thinking it was another wrestler or whatever. He
plays it pretty normal and subtle, not real character-y. He's one of the few guys that's not a wrestler who on the mic comes off like they're just doing their normal thing. I like him out there. Yeah. I think he does a good job. Yeah, one little flub. I thought he saved it and made sure the line was clear. He even repeated it. I was like, yeah, that's a good save. Respect. So yeah, I like Adam Pearce, man. He's doing a good job in that position. I think he'll be there a long time. We had a championship match between Bianca and Alexa. I told my daughter before the match, Alexa will lose, and she'll lose because she'll turn to the dark side and become crazy. And Charlotte goes, "What? That's stupid." And then that's exactly what happened.
Dad. Gotta trust the lesson in trusting Dad.
But let's skip that match. I want to go right to a match that I think you actually loved, which was Elias versus Solo in, I think it was like a Memphis music instrument street fight match. And these guys beat each other up with guitars, las guitarras. He smashed him in. See that drum set right there? Ba 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 boom! Smash your face in that effing drum set. You want to see that piano right there? I'm gonna do the spinning Samoan drop. Wah ba bam! Smash you right on that effing piano. They hit each other with a. Oh, you see this symbol? Blam! Right on your effing head. And they went back and forth with every instrument. So this truck driver named Hardy gets in the ring. Call him Big Hard. That's what me and the boys call him. And he grabs a guitar like the honky tonk man before him. And he smashes that guitar right on Solo Sikoa's back. And Solo just no-sells it like, F your chair shot. You soft little musician bitch. Here's some art. Go back to art school.
Yeah.
And just stares at him. And this dude isn't he's not in shape enough to get down quickly and get out of the ring. He has to like slowly not stumble and fall to get out of the ring. And he didn't want to look like a punk. So he's trying to like laugh it off. But then, like, you can see Solo, like, looking at him like, dude, if you don't get out of this ring, it's going to get real. And then he's like, oh, God, and just collapsed and rolled out of the ring. And then he ends the match by choke slamming him or Samoan spiking him onto the stupid piano.
Yeah, he choke slammed him out of the ring onto a piano that seemed like a real piano, too. It wasn't like a fake piano.
It was
pretty weird.
It wasn't even gimmick, just the legs were.
Yeah, that was weird.
He hits, and then the legs fall out, and then he just hits super hard.
I don't know who came up with this match, but I imagine it was one of these underpaid, underappreciated writers for WWE who's like, hey, Guitar Center's having a sale. Let's just go buy all these instruments. I was gonna say, that's what I didn't get about that country guy coming in the ring. The spot made no sense. He comes in, no one cheers. Everyone's going, who's that? And then he hits him with a guitar and nobody cared. Even the wrestlers go, why'd you hit me with this? Yeah, he no-sells it.
Nobody did anything. He just looks at him and the guy's like, just one guy hitting another guy with a guitar. I'm like, yo, who is this guy? Looks like my mailman, bro. Like, what the hell's going on?
He didn't sell it or anything. It was amazing.
Still no security. Goes back over the wall. Still no security. There's still no security there to this day.
What's going on? Yeah, really teaching these guys, you can just get in there and break an instrument over a wrestler if you'd like.
Bro, I hated this match so much that I loved it. It's actually my best of the week for being so friggin' horrible. There were parts that were actually cool. Like when he smashed him in the drums, that was stupid, but it made me laugh. But like the symbol's great. When he tried to jump off the top rope, Elias, with the broken guitar, and he's gonna like hit him with just the neck of it. Is it called the neck? I don't know instruments that well. The neck of the guitar, the goose, whatever it is. He swings it down and then blah, it's a thumb right to his throat, and he just dunzos. But so there were parts that I dug, but this was once that guy got in the ring, I'm like, what? Who is this guy? Like, he looks like a substitute gym teacher. What is going on right now? So we don't need to get into the matches too much on this. And I know we've side quested and talked a lot of smack, but the main event was, well, no, there's one match that we should talk about. Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins, which should be my best of the week. Sadly, it is not, because something awful is. And these guys, I don't know, man. I just feel like Seth Rollins is like Bryan Danielson, right? It doesn't matter who he wrestles. 99% of the time, he makes them look amazing, and he makes himself look amazing at the same time. They set this match up a little with him in a backstage segment, and that energy that he has, that yeah, that works better in the middle of a ring with people all around you than it does backstage. So I wasn't even that hyped to see the match, because man, they should have let him out. I know they're trying to keep time short, give people time for matches, but just either have him pissed off that he doesn't have the belt right now, or just lose that and let Theory try to get over backstage, right? So then they get out there and the match starts, and it felt like they wrestled for 30 minutes, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. And I loved it. I loved the false finishes. I loved the back and forth of it. I loved every single thing about this match. Like I said, it should be my match or my best of the week, but the Music City Disaster is my favorite of this week. Let's go to AEW Dynamite. Sir, Ricky friggin' Starks versus Chris Jericho. Dude, Seattle?
Yep.
Your home. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to let you take over because it's your hometown. This crowd was so friggin' hyped.
Yep.
And so good and so strong all night long. I love this match. The crowd was a big part of it because the guys started working off of them. And my guy, Ricky Starks, got a win. He took a beating afterward, but he got a win. Tell me about the match and just tell me about Seattle a little bit, dude, because this crowd was awesome.
I don't understand how Seattle gets the reputation of being the loudest audience or the loudest. I don't know how a group of people could have such a reputation, but it is a Seattle thing. They used to say like the Kingdom was the loudest stadium in baseball. And then they said that's probably because it's in a dome. And so all the sound is trapped in there. But it turns out it isn't. It turns out it's just loud Pacific Northwest people because we built it was Seahawks Stadium, then it was Lumen Field, Quest Field. The stadium's had a million names, but it's for the Seahawks and it's open air. And we're known as the loudest crowd. I think we have the record for the loudest decibels, all this different stuff. Also, they call the 12th man because we're so loud that we affect the football games. And in one of the longest booings in wrestling history was in Seattle because Elias came out and made a bunch of Seattle Supersonics jokes about us losing the basketball team. And the crowd booed Elias so long that it was like a record. It was so loud and obnoxious. And Elias really milked it. He was smiling like he loved it. And if you look it up on YouTube.
Oh, he must have been eating it up. I can't wait to watch this.
You got to look it up on YouTube.
Wait.
It's pretty sweet. And it's also like so hometown pride. Like I'm like, yes, just boo the heck out of this guy. But they were in it all night last. They booed MJF a lot. Like he got like they really gave him the business. So they were a huge part of this match as well. I love this match. I love Chris Jericho. I'm learning to love Ricky Starks. I'm a new Ricky Starks guy because of this podcast and you and Big Al basically convincing me that he's the real deal.
I'm new to him too.
Yeah,
I just got hip to him this year.
But what I'm confused about is not confused. I'm surprised about is that he beat Jericho. The match was good. The match was fun, and like you said, it was very hype. He pinned him clean. He pinned Jericho. I couldn't believe
and that dude that came out with the chair later with the burn up face, he let that kid get a win over on him like 2 or 3 weeks ago, man. Jericho is down to let you shine if he believes in you.
I love
he just can't get everyone at once, right? So he tries to get the mid-card guys over by joining the Jericho Appreciation Society. And then the guys that he goes against are the guys he thinks could be a top guy or have potential to be a top guy. Let's see what he's got. Let's build him up, and I'm willing to lose. So when you see him do it to someone who's coming in on their first match, like it wasn't AR. It was Action Andrade or something like that. And then you see him do it to someone like Ricky, who's in his 30s. He looks like he's in his 20s, but Ricky's older in his 30s. And you're just like, dude, you'll put anyone over so long as you believe in him. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. If you believe in him, you're like, hey, let's give this guy a shot. Let's see what happens. And he does it all the time. I don't think it gets talked about enough. And it's a business of selfishness. So it sounds corny to say it's a selfless thing for him to do. Like it's almost cringy in the wrestling world. But that's what it is, man. Like at this age in his career, he should be doing that. But I don't think a lot of people would. And that's why I believe it's commendable.
Yeah, he's awesome. I'm a big, big fan of the way he treats wrestling and the way he respects wrestling and the way he like handles himself in his career. He's awesome. Also, I'll be on his boat cruise week in February. I'm going to be at the Jericho cruise. If you guys are listening to this podcast and you're going to be on that cruise, come say what's up to me. I'll be doing comedy 2 nights on that boat and then hanging with all you guys. Hanging with you all guys when I'm not doing stand-up. I'm on the boat.
Are you going to get in the ring?
I hope so. If they let me, if they give me any, if they even like suggest it for a second, I'm gonna do it.
I know Jericho. Should I text Jericho?
Yeah, tell him, hey, say my boy Jeff Dye is going to be on that. You should come to the cruise with us.
I can't go on a friggin' cruise
It'll
and
be
be
fun.
trapped on a boat. Hell to the no. You want to find out my worst phobia?
You don't like cruises?
No, hell no. If I don't know everybody on the boat, I'm not getting on the boat. Because then what if I don't like someone and then I'm stuck with them and there's no way out? We'd have to fight. I would get in so many fights.
It is interesting
in the ring and out of the ring.
To be stuck on the boat is fascinating because it's like it'd be like living with your fans for a week, like just together.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Look, I love my family. I would die for my children. I would lie in court under oath as a God-fearing man. I would break that oath. I would lie and tell them, no, my wife was with me. She did not kill that person. I have no issue doing it. But dude, I need alone time. Like, and that means the majority of the day is leave Freddie the F alone. And if you need something, I'm there for you. But if you're just gonna text me like, hey, the middle of the burrito was hot, but the outsides were cold. What do you think that is?
Doing?
Like, I'm gonna jump out a window on the first text. On the first text. Yeah. And Sarah learned that early back in the day when we had these things called rims, and they were like text pagers that you could send messages to each other in the 90s. But you could send like full novels. So for every girl who got it, that's all their men got were the novels. Whereas like the guy ones were like, yeah, okay, 7:30, sushi. And it's all one word answers. And then my wife would send one, and I wrote her one time. I said, I didn't read any of this, and any others that are this long, I will not read either.
That's great.
And I sent it, and it lets you know when they were read.
Yeah.
And so it would pop up, and it said, it's got the check next to it. I think it was a check, or it had the letter R. And nothing for like 2 hours.
She was dealing with it. She was going, oh gosh, this is the guy.
She was like, oh shit, did I just mess this up? Do I hate him? Do I love him? At least he was honest, but that was kind of a dick move. Yep. Like she had to go through all those emotions, and it took her 2 hours before she wrote back, I hear you. Yeah. And that was it. I was like, there you go.
Yeah, you set a boundary. You set a boundary. That's good. Well, anyways, yeah, you would hate the cruise.
We've been together 21 years, man.
You would not like the cruise. But I'm going to love the cruise.
You will. But you do well with people. You do well with strangers. You have to go on the road and talk to strangers. I don't think you like Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe. So if you don't want to talk about it, we won't. As you're not a Samoa Joe guy, and I don't think you even like those matches that much. But there were gimmicks and a whole bunch of ladders. So if you want to, I enjoyed it, and I'm happy to discuss. Otherwise,
I did like the match. I'm just not. I don't know if I have much to contribute to it, but you can talk to the people about it. They might want to hear you talk about it. I just don't have much to contribute. I thought it was awesome.
I thought the story was great because Darby is a Seattle guy, and he won that title in his hometown. Mm-hmm. Usually in WWE, that's a guaranteed loss on your record. Not that they use records in WWE, but Darby has gone through a strange evolution. When he first broke in, he was this question mark, right? He was like the Riddler, but not like the corny Riddler, like a sexy Riddler, right? Like a guy who's terrorizing Gotham, has good reasons, but doesn't look like any of the people that have ever played the Riddler. He looks like, it's a sexy dude, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, it got to just vanilla ice cream, man, where there was just nothing there for him. They gave him Sting.
Which
then it became this weird hybrid. That
combo is fascinating. It's fascinating that it works.
I didn't think it would work. It works much better now than when they started, because he started doing this, like, is he this tortured soul, or is he a skateboarder cruising down the street like goth style, but still cool? He's got a good life. He's skating. How bad can it be? And it didn't quite match. And then he slowly, very slowly started to let like the tortured, haunted part go. Like what was the vampire Twilight, like the emo guy, like he's letting that go. And he's being a bit more himself. Like I follow AEW on Instagram, and I'll see a lot of the promos they cut to like get you hyped for the matches. And he's speaking much more naturally now. He seems more confident while doing that. And I'm starting to feel him more. I haven't always been complimentary about him. His wrestling is amazing. I think he should take 3 months off a year. in a row to let his friggin' body
He's
heal.
pretty brutal
But I
on
was
his
never
body.
like, oh my God, dude, I'm a dad. Like to
Yeah.
see those falls, man, it's just like, oh, like my son will get on the trampoline. I'm like, be careful, son. Like I turn into a helicopter parent. But yeah, so I'm starting to like him more. And I just thought it was a nice story. And if this is the direction they're going to continue to go and he continues to grow, then I think he really can be one of those pillars of the company that I used to think he could be. And then I was like, nah, I was wrong about that. It's all on MJF's shoulders pretty much. And now I'm starting to see like why Kenny Omega's important, why Darby's important. I'm not a Hangman Page guy, but I get why he's important. So yeah, man, I thought it was a nice match with a nice story, and Joe did the right job, and I thought all was right with the world.
Yeah, and I like Darby Allin. One thing that maybe not everyone knows, he's brutal on the outside of his body, but he's like a super like clean eating, doesn't drink, doesn't do drink. He's like sober, straight edge guy. So I love him. I think he's great, and I thought it was awesome that they even gave him the confetti in Seattle. Confetti came down, which is pretty cool.
I really liked it, man,
yeah,
and I
cool.
haven't been. I like that I'm coming back around to him. I like him. I just, if I was his promoter or his boss, I would tell him, once a year, a big guy's coming in and we're not going to know if you're dead or alive, and you're going to take 3 months off. You're going to go to a beach. I'm going to rent you a house. Go enjoy it. Take your girl, take your guy, take 3 girls, like whatever you need to do to chill out. I'm sending a massage therapist out there. Like, get your ass well. And when you come back, you kill everybody.
You're a better owner than Vince. That's the nicest thing I've ever heard.
I want the guy to wrestle for 20 years, man.
Exactly.
Not everybody's built like Jeff Hardy and has like pipe cleaners for body parts. Like, you know what I mean? The rest of us are human beings.
That spine tattoo that Darby Allin has is so cool. Like, it looks so sick. I bet Brock Lesnar
I would never do it,
that.
but that's badass.
I bet Brock Lesnar sees that and goes, I should have done that. I shouldn't have got this wienery looking sword on my chest. That was a bad idea.
Darby's lines are cleaner, man. Here's another side quest. I'm going to Vancouver, Canada to meet with this tattoo artist that I've wanted to work on my one tattoo. This is a real tattoo story, not the stupid Samoan one. I've wanted to fix something on it and kind of complete the whole thing. And we lost touch after Scooby-Doo 2, because that was the one there. And he reached out on social media. He's like a famous tattoo artist. I love his work. And I'm going to fly up to Vancouver for no reason other than to finish a tattoo.
Nice.
In a couple months, bro.
Wait, where is your tattoo?
It's on my left shoulder, down to a little bit above my elbow. I was born in the year of the dragon, so it's a dragon.
Nice.
And I was born on the 8th, so it's in the shape of an 8.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Sort of like an abstract.
You got a badass. You're like a secret badass.
Well, everyone had one in the motorcycle gang I used to ride.
There you go. So you're a little late.
We used to run drugs over the border back in the 90s, man. We were hardcore.
Yeah, they're not.
No, I've never even done those.
They didn't make you prioritize the tattoo. They were like, just whenever you can get around to it. Even when you're not in the gang, 20 years later, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And just get it eventually.
Yeah.
Promise.
And it's whatever tattoo you want. It doesn't have to match ours, Freddie. Just do your thing. So Friday Night SmackDown, there's not a ton to talk about, but the opening segment was pretty sweet. Roman Reigns, for the first time, lost his shit. And Sami Zayn, who is the heart and soul of not just the Bloodline, but of all professional wrestling, is there just trying to be his emotional support dog, which is what he is to everyone, to all of us, really. I take him on planes with me all the time. He came with me to Hawaii, sat for free. Everything's good and right with the world, and Roman is starting to feel some pressure. He might be losing his title soon. And he gets pissed and he gives him the side eye, right? Like you son of, I'm going to kill you. And he says, do you want to be me? And Sammy, he doesn't have a mic. He can't even defend himself verbally, but you see the lips go, I don't want to be you. Do you want to be me? No, I don't want to be you. Is that what you want? Why are you trying to be like, and he just goes in on him. He doesn't drop any F's because he's a pro, right? He goes in on him, and we see major tension for the first time, which is pretty friggin' cool. And then you see this kind of lead into Kevin Owens coming out and saying, hey, whoa, wait, yeah, man, you're not mad at Sammy. Who gets mad at their emotional support dog, you son of a bitch? That's what he says to him. And he says, you're mad at me. And Roman's is right. Like, yeah, that's right. I am mad at you. And he's like, yeah, I know you're mad at me. And he goes, if you're so mad, why don't you give me a match at the Royal Rumble? And Roman Reigns is like, fine. He's had it. He just hates this guy. He legit says, like, I just want to be done with you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear you. Maybe there's some shoot stuff in there because he got palmed in the ear by Kevin Owens at War Games. So maybe there's like some real stuff in there trying to make it extra spicy. He's like, I'm done. You can have your match. And even Paul Heyman's like, oh, dear Lord, my tribal chief. These are the expressions they're emoting. They didn't all get this sweet dialogue that I'm cutting right. And Kevin Owens gets what he wants and he leaves, which leads us to the end of the show. And Sammy's been trying to talk to the Chief, man. And the Chief's not having it all show, 2 hours. He finally brings him in. And Sammy's trying to apologize. He doesn't even know what to apologize for. But he knows he's upset his Chief. And so he's just trying to make it right. And he finishes, and Roman says, I don't accept your apology. And Sammy's like, oh shit, man. I don't even know what I did wrong yet. What's going on? Again, these are his emotions. And then Roman Reigns says, stop, don't laugh. Roman says, I owe you an apology. And this was a very sweet soap opera moment. And then he switches it on him. You think he's being nice. He's like, I'm feeling this pressure. I shouldn't be going in on you. But I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourself and make it up to me, even though I owe you an apology. You're going to wrestle Kevin Owens next week before the Royal Rumble. And like they said in Karate Kid, I want him out of commission. And the kid's like, but Sensei, I can beat this guy. And he just looks at him. He goes, I don't want him beaten. Out of commission. That's what Paul Heyman says to him. He was summoning his inner Kreese. John Kreese was that character's name from Karate Kid. Shimon. And that's set up what's hopefully going to be a huge Friday Night SmackDown this week. Sami Zayn in the main event against Kevin friggin' Owens. I didn't say freaking. That's not gimmick infringement. And the two best friends are going to fight what? To the death? We don't know. But definitely to the pain.
I hope to the death. That'd be more interesting to watch.
They're best friends. No.
Just kidding.
And a bunch of other stuff happened on the show too. But it wasn't, to me, it wasn't a great Friday Night SmackDown. But we got time to talk one match if there was something that you liked that tickled your wrestling fancy.
Ricochet looked amazing, as always, but he also made Top Dollar look terrible. Top Dollar looked so sluggish, and it was interesting to watch. But that was my worst of the week. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
I will say this. Yes, it's also Ricochet's job to make his opponent look great too.
Yeah.
However, Top Dollar is the same guy who tried to go over the top rope, clipped it, and flipped, and busted his own ass. Like, he's not the best worker. So maybe that's as good as Ricochet can make Top Dollar look, because Top Dollar's not at the level that he needs to be in yet. But yes.
Very average Dollar. It was not it did not look clean. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up, is because Ricochet looks great. When he jumps off that top rope, like, it is amazing how high he gets. Like, Ricochet is just...
That finish... It looked like he got higher than normal.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because the guy he's landed on was so much bigger than he was. But it looked like he went 20 feet in the air and landed perfect, like he always does.
Also, Charlotte Flair doesn't look like herself anymore. She looks... I would barely recognized her.
Maybe you haven't seen her in a long time.
It has been a while.
It's been 8 months.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about that. We were both on vacation when it happened.
Yeah.
And some people are mad that Charlotte is champ again. Why? Do you really want that title around Ronda Rousey's waist? Yeah. Or when Raquel Rodriguez comes in, do you want her to get it off someone that's legit, that the company respects, so that it means more? Or she's just going to win it off a part-timer? Like, no, put it on Charlotte, and then let Charlotte and Raquel go to WrestleMania, and it'll be an awesome match, and Raquel can be the good guy by that point, because everyone will start booing Charlotte. They'll only cheer her about a month, and then they all turn to boos on her every single title run. And then everybody's happy and everybody wins. You don't want Ronda still with the title. I promise. So yeah.
I like that Charlotte's champ, and I like Charlotte. I think Charlotte she's the Hulk Hogan of women's wrestling. In my, if you see all the things she's done, she's awesome, and she's a beast. And I'm happy she's champ.
And she got that figure 8. Sonya Deville took it like a champ too. Sold that pain.
I don't know if you noticed this, but she's supposed to be babyface, right? Like Charlotte right now, and she snatched the belt from the female referee, like the way like a heel would, famously, like she snatched the belt, like, give me that. And then you can see her realize, like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have that. She goes, oh, sorry. She apologized to the ref.
No, now I know. Yeah, she put on this super like fake smile and went, thank you.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? That was weird. I must have not been looking at the moment she snatched the belt and missed that. So that's why she did it.
And I have a theory that that's the Vince McMahon that's ingrained in her. Like, it's like this, like, oh, I'm going to get heat backstage for doing that. Vince is going to go, you're not a heel. You don't snatch the belt from the referee. And so, like, I think that was her trying to overcorrect. Like, oh, well, thank you. I'm so she realized, oh, I'm going to get in trouble for this. Even if she would.
I was wondering why that was so big, because that's not normally her MO. I was like, that was weird, but all right, moving on. Where are you going to be this weekend?
This weekend, I'm in Des Moines, Iowa at the Funny Bone, Friday and Saturday. I'm very excited.
Have you played there before?
I played there a bunch, and Iowa's great. It's cold, but it's the Iowa people are awesome. I love the people of Iowa.
Is that the right term? Did you play there? Or is that
Yep, that's the right term. Yeah, did you play there?
Ah, come on,
nailed it,
bro.
dude. You know what you're doing.
Dad, a stand-up or
You're
something?
royalty.
Shit.
You're in the comedy family.
Well, Mr. Jeff, that was wrestling this week.
Love it.
We have a whole nother week to discuss next week.
Yes, sir.
And you're the best.
Love you, buddy.
Thank you very much. And thank all you guys for listening to the Frienderation. Peace.
Follow us on Instagram, Wrestling with Freddie. Twitter is WWFreddie Pod. Follow us on all the socials so you can submit your questions for the Federation.
This has been a production of iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.